I I cut it for a Halloween costume, so
Strangely, you kind of have a Taika Waititi look.
Taika Waititi. That's
Yeah,
A little
yeah,
bit.
okay.
yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
And as you
It
can see,
looks good.
as you can see, I'm already getting this stuff. I'm trying to grow this back as quickly as possible.
You look fine. You look fine. Don't
Like
look don't look
I
a
know
day
I
past
know it's
12.
fine. It's just it even throws me off because
You're like, what the fuck is that?
yeah,
I know.
it is it's like it's a very weird sensation getting the uncanny valley looking in the mirror. Like you
Right.
because you're just like, what the fuck is that?
Then you grab the side of the mirror and you're just like, what did you do to yourself?
There's always that like regret when you shave facial hair. You're just like,
Right. Because no beard is ever the same. I mean, like this one, for example. When I let this one go,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be sad because it's
that's
actually growing in quite nice.
Yeah.
quite nice. Just completely clean shave.
But welcome to the Social Podcast, everybody. If you weren't joining us in on that conversation of facial hair, it was a good one. So thank you for joining us from the show that brings you all the movie news and everything to do with movies 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Of course, I'm your host, Rob, with his two co-hosts, Lucas Maximus
What up?
and Steve.
Yo.
So, guys, I want to go ahead and get to that movie news because there's some great stories I wanted to talk about with you guys. So, first of all, I'm gonna go ahead and put this first story out there. So let's go ahead and get started, dude. Okay, so these guys pulled truly a James Cameron, I should say, and they're making the sequel to Twister. But get this, guys, get this. It's the sequel for Twister, and it's gonna be called Twisters.
Twisters.
I wonder what this movie is going to be about. I can already see it now. It's going to be about something about climate change and like the world going to shit, and there's going to be just twisters everywhere. That's
Which
what I'm
is
saying. That's what I'm
which
thinking.
which I'm curious. Like, I mean, like very clearly, droughts and hurricanes are caused by climate change. Are tornadoes really affected
I'm
by
not sure
climate?
That's
Like
true.
that's
Yeah, that's a
something.
good question.
until now.
That's true. I mean,
Right.
I'm actually very curious. I feel that like that's gonna get that's if it isn't true, that's probably gonna cause problems if you just start making stuff. I mean, granted, they did that with what was it, the day after tomorrow,
Right.
where they like climate change is going to cause all of the ice caps to melt all at once.
And
So
there's going to be like inland hurricanes that are just
it,
going to fuck everything
just
up.
immediately, yeah,
So is
uh,
this going to be basically like 2012 too? Then
yeah. I don't know.
it's just crazy.
What was it?
Right.
Twister came out in the '90s, so this will be almost 30 years after the fact, without Bill Paxton. So, but I don't know.
Right.
Or Philip Seymour Hoffman too, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. So I don't. I mean, I'm assuming Cameron won't direct. He didn't direct the first one. Stupid me. I don't know who directed the first one.
Let's see. Well, who did the first Twister? Let's ask our good friend Google because, as we should know this, we're being bad movie critics right now. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but you know, we can't know all this information all the time. It was directed by Jan de Bont.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
Dave Bond. He's the guy who did Speed. He did the Speed 1, 2.
oh,
You
that's
remember
right.
that
Duh.
guy? He's the
Yep.
Tomb Raider
I just
guy.
talked about him actually. God, I feel ashamed because I just talked about him with Cam.
Yeah, this guy.
I can never remember some of these more foreign actors who do the American films too. I just can't remember their name
Uh,
sometimes. They escape me for some reason. So apologies for that with my audience. I should have known that. I'm a terrible host there for that. So bad me. So here's another story that we're a little late on, but I wanted to talk about this with you guys because I think this is absolute bullshit. Now, I want to set this up for my audience right now. We are a generation here of men that have grown up. First of all, we grew up in the cable era where there was commercials, and
Yeah.
then we have seen the streaming wars and the coming of streaming from DVDs to pure streaming. Then we were like, now there's no ads, and all of a sudden on this October, Netflix has announced there will be an average of 5 minutes of ads per hour that will play during films. So pay Netflix more money to not have ads. What do you
On
think,
top
boys?
of the already jumping up price they do usually.
What do you think, boys? I mean, is this like I don't know if I can just say the forgive me, the fucking nerve of these people. Because they put us through all this whole like we'll never give you ads because we're not cable, and now they're basically the fucking cable companies.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it always like seemed to course corrected um after everything is said and done. It's kind of like we're back to where we were in a different format. So I don't know. It it just uh
Pisses
it
you
is
off, doesn't it?
a
Just pisses you off, doesn't it?
little bit, yeah, because I mean, yeah, and that's the thing too, because it's like we are used to it. We're familiar with this. I don't know if the previous generation, like the current generation below us, I don't know how much they had to deal with that. So I don't know how they're going to take it. I think they're
I
going
do.
to, yeah.
Because recently I just moved and my daughter has had to deal with cable. I cannot tell you how much she's been like, can you put on this? Can you put on this? And I'm like, honey, I do not control the schedule of what comes on the television. And let me just tell you, it has been a traumatic battle for some of this stuff because she doesn't get commercials. She doesn't because she's not used to it.
Mhm.
She's used to pure Netflix. So I would say not good, Luke. That's my answer for the
Mhm. Yeah.
generation below us. Not good
Yeah.
because because they're just entering basically where we started. This is like come full circle,
Yeah.
as we say here. This is literally come full circle. I don't know how else to describe this, but
Full circle. The flip side is that generation, for them, it is not full circle. They are just seeing, from their perspective, it's just a degeneration of what they had before. Like
right.
they had something that was pretty good, pretty solid, had its problems, and now it's just becoming worse. Like it's kind of like, again, it's a hyper acceleration, which is its own thing that I feel that I'm very sympathetic to Gen Z because they are just existing in a perpetual state of decline. Like,
Yeah.
like at least the millennials, we had a brief moment of like the before 9/11 that there was a brief window of this sort um, of sobriety in this country, in sort of a moment of sanity, and maybe also a little bit with when Obama came back, but even then was kind of iffy. But like, I think Gen Z has only known a steady decline in everything that they know. Every form of entertainment they know is going down. Every institution that they have been a part of is declining.
Is declining.
Every cultural norm is getting worse and worse by the day. It's
Even movies.
especially number one movies.
Yeah.
Number one entertainment, obviously. I agree, man. I feel like it's so funny, dude, because it harkens back to Blockbuster, Rob. I know you're going to know what I'm going to say about this because Netflix, I don't know if you guys know, are about to have like a new Netflix series called Blockbuster, which has to deal with people working in Blockbuster.
Don't even get me started.
It's like the whole thing about Netflix was Blockbuster denied them, and they were like, "Oh,
Right.
let's team up." And Blockbuster was like, "What is this streaming thing?" And it killed them. In the end, they are quintessentially Blockbuster. They're oversaturating the market with streaming. They were the first ones there, so now they feel an urge to perpetuate a need to kind of be innovators in streaming, and I don't know why they think this is it. And or like taxing people on passwords as well. It's a weird thing because it's kind of like live TV is still around. You can get live streaming TV, and you just look at it and you go, is it really that bad? Just go back to TV and just leave Netflix alone, because how much do you obviously binge on something? A Netflix shows, what are the content you're paying for? And like you said, Rob, like unskippable ads for 5 minutes, and then you're paying more for that. There's no happy medium there.
No. So speaking of binging out too much on things, this is another one, and I know you guys have. Hopefully, you guys have read this article because I sent it because this one's fucking great. So I want to break this one down as much as I can here because Luke, I want you to help me because I know we're gonna have fun with this one. So
Yeah.
Dukes of Hazzard star John Schneider explains why Hollywood won't make patriotic films. You have the power. So Schneider, who famously played Bo Duke in the classic sitcom starring In to Die For, which was honored patriotism and freedom. So I thought, let me just stop this right now. So the guy who played Bo Duke in the hit sitcom Dukes of Hazzard, first of all, not a hit sitcom. Second of all, like, don't even know who this fucking guy is.
Yeah, I mean, like it was a popular show. But it is like, who gives a fuck? The fucking Dukes. Who,
Everyone loves the old one anyway.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I guess I guess he's certainly catering to the crowd, because I would say if anybody gives a shit about the quote unquote patriotic moves, it would probably be people who still care about Dukes of Hazzard. I eat 80-year-olds in South Carolina. Like, that's pretty much it.
So let me talk about this movie he's doing in called To Die For.
To Die For.
So the storyline follows a reclusive veteran in Quentin North Schneider, who takes a
Yeah.
public stand for his personal freedoms. You know,
Right.
all this is not exactly what the story is. After receiving a court order to keep his American flag flying high, El Camino truck away from the local high school, the 62-year-old Fox News digital film defends patriotism, freedom of speech, and the American flag. So I went on to this website to see this. And first of all, I just want to say I didn't even bother to watch the trailer because that kind of told me what it was about in general.
Yeah.
But I love this here on the website, my audience. It says, warning, this movie is intensely patriotic. If patriotism and love of country offend you in any way, watch
Yeah.
this film, then move somewhere else.
Then move some.
Filmmaker John Schneider. And I just want to tell you something, John Schneider. For someone who's in love with this film so much, you certainly did a fucking thirsty cover for it. I mean, I have never seen a more thirstier cover. I mean, the guy has a pistol in one hand and he's raising this flag in a field, and he's like, like he's like a one man fucking what's that battle? The Battle of Hiroshima.
Yeah, Battle of Iwo Jima.
Iwo Jima, like he's a one man
he's-
fucking Iwo Jima here, and just holding it up high. And I get it. It's like I get it, dude. We get it. But guess what? No one really gives a shit but the people you're catering this movie towards.
Exactly.
And this is obviously a cash grab for him because he's basically trying to drum up controversy for himself because he had an investment in the film itself.
Also, so the plot of the movie is that he can't wave his flag outside of school.
Right. This is the plot of the film.
This is that's
Okay.
the funniest thing
I
about
kind of want to see this actually. That
Right,
actually makes me want to see it.
Because like it's like, how much of a fucking fit could you throw over this? I hope there's someone in the movie that's like kind of like almost like a real anti-antagonist. It's like, dude, literally, you don't have to do this at all. Like, this is completely unnecessary.
Oh Jesus! It's a rental for $20.
Yes, it is.
But
But look at that cover. You just can see the intensity of this man. I mean, first of all, that's not even an El Camino truck, and if that is the
Right.
flag that is in the back of his El Camino truck, then that is a hazard on the road. He needs to have a red flag on top of that flag because clearly no one can follow him.
Dude, I'm looking at the cover and all I hear is that South Park song, "The freedom isn't free." They should have that. Like, he should just go lean all the way into
It's
that.
so. I'm sorry, but this is so thirsty, and it's so. It looks like he's in like a war, but this is like. But, like, look at this cover. Would
is in
you
a
sit
war,
there? Would you sit there and
Right.
look at this cover and be like, "This guy is fighting a high school to fly that flag high"? It looks like no, he's in goddamn Vietnam or something.
Yeah.
It's a war, Rob. It's a war in the American freedom.
I mean, Luke, what is your take? I want I want to hear some Luke
I'm thinking,
comments on
like,
this.
in my head, it's like this is what like a schizophrenic thinks is going on in his head when he's told he has to stay 200 feet away from a school. It's like, is it my flag, or is it the 15-year-old I continue to talk to at the mall?
Right, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, John Schneider. I've never. Yeah, like, who's heard of John Schneider? He looked. It's there's definitely like a small tiny cottage industry of of these conservative films who kind of like who that are all bad. I know like
Love
I
it.
know Ben Shapiro started a film, and like it's all that same type of like weird conservative messaging. And it's always funny when it is that way.
Well, first of all, he is the original guy from Dukes of Hazzard. I just
Dukes
want
of
to put
Hazzard.
that in. That's
But-
fucking hilarious. I thought he was in the
it even
remake.
better, dude.
one of the big things about like right wing culture warriors is they are always complaining about like liberal messaging in films. It's always always liberal, and I guess that because of that, that gives them a carte blanche to not make real movies and just make make plots that are like a billion times preachier than whatever.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you don't. I mean, like there are certainly a lot of films that have a vague liberalness to them. I don't feel there's any movies that just like have people like sitting there spouting off like the ideology. I mean, maybe
Right.
was it that Don't Look Up was kind
no,
of
clear.
that.
No, that's a clear one. Yeah, that's
That
one
was a
that.
clear
that's
one.
like-
And honestly, like that had very mixed
great.
feelings, because even liberals kind of like, oh come on, make a real story. These
I
ones,
love-
like 100% of the time, they're always bad because they don't tell actual stories. They're just there to like let conservatives feel good about themselves watching a movie, I guess. Usually it's conservative. Most of the time it's often like like Christian film. Like there's this Christian look.
Right.
Tons of those that are like all about Christian messaging. And
But
again,
this-
not plots. They're not plots. They're not movies.
No.
They're
this
not
is-
movies,
They're
actually.
concepts.
They are
This is like a fit.
yeah.
they're fit. They are big budget church sketches. Like that's what the day when you have a skit at church and you're gonna tell a fun message with a skit at church.
I'm just lost on this one, guys. I'm really lost. I just I just think about things from the other perspective. Like, for example, I think about the security guards that were working at the facility in The Notebook. What did they have to tell the police when they had to pull those old people's naked bodies off each other after they died in the book? I think about shit like that, and I think about the school in this scenario who are
Oh, yeah.
this fucking guy won't
Yeah,
get off
literally.
the property.
I'm genuinely truly curious if there was an actual story like this.
There is. There is. This probably
Yeah,
happened 20
Probably
times.
not even remote. That was like this asshole was like probably driving his truck around. They're like, hey, can your giant stupid 20-foot flag?
Right. Oh, and I just think, I that's exactly what I'm thinking is from the other
Wait,
perspective.
In
Like,
his hand, is that like a gun in his hand?
yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
that's
I'm
what I
saying. It's a
thought. I was
fucking-
thinking that
it looks
too.
like a Vietnam cover. That's what I was
So why-
saying, Luke.
I'm
So
like,
that defeats
okay.
the purpose. Why does he have the gun?
I don't know. I guess
Can't take that out, school campus.
That makes it so much more suspicious.
Yeah, right.
Told, like, hey, you need to stay away from the school. He's like, not only am I going to be near this school, I'm going to bring my gun on campus. So that
Hey, but this is about freedom, guys. Let's not.
I feel
Let's not.
like I would 100% believe that, like, despite the message, like, he would still come off objectively like a monster.
I know, right? This seems like something that should not be that big a deal.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I feel 100% that even though this movie is 100% on his side, he would still come out like the bat. Like, it's like without even, just because of that, because of the psychology behind the movie.
Right.
They can't get it in their head to tell their perspective from a place of empathy. Meaning, like they can't they can't think about like conservative ideas, and they can't frame it in a story non-conservatives relate to it. You know what I mean?
No, totally.
Where
I
you
totally get it.
come from a perspective like, okay, well, I don't agree with that, but I see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
This is just this guy seems like an idiot. It's
I know
and
it
the
seems
point
redundant.
seems to clearly be that, like, by the way, we should all consider this idiot a hero because of these beliefs. So
I think this is.
I'm
so
curious. I really don't want to give people any money here with
Yeah.
this shit. This is wild.
Oh no, I'm not gonna get the money, but I am gonna watch the film
my
and
gosh.
by hook or crook
So the
because
trailer is like really bad.
yeah.
I
Like
was just looking
the
at that
framing
too.
is awful.
You looked at it. Yeah.
It, God, dude, like I said, this to me, it just seems like this is like equivalent to somebody just saying like, "Hey, can you just stay off my the property, please?" You know, and there's
Yeah,
someone
you're
be like,
scaring me a little bit.
yeah, like no, this is about my friend. I guarantee you, in this movie too, he probably has some like litter boxes in the back of the truck, and he's like, "I don't want my kids shitting in these and all kind."
Oh, God.
Like
There's
okay,
probably some
like,
anti-furry message in there too. I
I'm
guarantee it.
truly watching this. Like every scene looks green screen, even with scenes that like are like outside. You could have just filmed outside a house. Everything.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm watching it now
there.
too. Let's all just take it. Let's all watch it.
Uh,
Oh yeah. Okay. Whoa. Yeah. It is. What's going on here? It looks
yeah,
like it is all
first off,
green
the
screen.
yeah, the coloring is all like the
Yeah.
lighting's all off, like the color balance. Clearly it was just like they just put a digital every single scene looks green screened.
Yeah. It literally looks like this is like the laziest fucking film I've ever seen. Look. I mean, look at this. Dude, yeah, it is. Look at her hair.
Yeah, yeah.
Her hair
yeah.
is like it's bad green screen
It's
at that.
bad green screen. It's cutting
bad
through.
green.
You shouldn't
I
have
mean,
clipping
it's-
in a film.
It's,
Oh my God. Yeah, they're outside, and that kid wasn't even in a real neighborhood.
okay, so like so at like the minute 38 mark, he like shaves his hair. But like nothing has happened.
Nothing's
Oh
in
my
the
God.
car,
He
he's-
pulled a fucking taxi driver or a fucking.
Yeah,
He's in the car. Yeah, he shaved his head, but nothing's
Yeah.
happening.
But like in movies, once the guy shaves his head, you're like, oh, now it's gonna go down.
It's gonna
Right.
get real. Shaved his head.
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
Nothing.
Yeah, the
That's
kid's
just-
like shit. He shaved his head too.
Gosh, everyone. This. Oh God, the
Tires skidding for no reason.
Yeah.
I
We
bet-
see
okay,
lips talking to no
actually,
bottle.
Here's the best part because it keeps calling it John Schneider's To Die For. That like this is important that we should
Yeah,
know
like
John
oh my
Schneider
God, you
direct-
you guys wanna
like
watch
you know
the Schneider
Tyler
cut of
Perry
it?
presents.
Yeah.
Like,
All right. We've officially spent too long on this subject, ladies and gentlemen, but believe us, it was worth it.